So if anyone wants a quick cheat sheet as to what we're saying and how we're saying and why we're saying it, there's a page on the charity site called Why Children with Disabilities. And on that page, it was the first page we started working on. It was the first page we spent a lot of time on. But it basically answers the question to people who don't care and who don't know anything about you. Not even why variety, not even why you're programming, why children with disabilities? And so for us, what we had to do was try and decide, is this a social issue? Is this a justice issue? Why is it fair that someone who lives down the street can access this location, but someone who lives 200 kilometers away can't? It's not fair. It's not fair that you guys are so awesome here and people who don't live here can't access you. And so we're not trying to say that, you know, we're going out to change the entire world. But for all of the communities that do not have access to variety programming, for all of the parents, for all of the kids who do not have access to it, it's a really big deal. And so I'm quite proud of that page and the work we've done. But if you want to get a sense of the direction we're heading for our messaging and even why, again, don't think why variety, don't think why our programming, why children with disabilities? Why is this even an important cause? And it seems so natural, I'm sure, to all of you because you work all day, every day doing this. But for the outside world, many people don't think about it. So on site, we're going to really try and refer to the facility as Variety or Variety Village. I don't think anything is going to change in that regard. But it's important to kind of keep track of how these things work in our minds. You know, another thing is obviously we're not looking to speak down about anyone. You know, people do not suffer with disabilities. They live with them. You know, they're not disabled children, they're children with disabilities. We've been very careful to try and, although be clear and be direct, but not to try and talk down to anyone. And most of all, our tone should be one of empathy and not sympathy. Right? Anyone who's willing to give a moment's notice or volunteer their time or donate in any way, whatever the amount is, they're doing something that's really good. So we're not trying to victimize anyone at all. We're just trying to be clear that there is a need and that people can step up and help. So there's a lot going on here, right? We have Variety, the Children's Charity Ontario, we have Variety Village, we're talking about the new locations that we're going to. The easiest way that we found to kind of keep track of everything is that Variety Ontario, Variety, the Children's Charity Ontario, varietyontario.ca, that's the main organization. And this location's part of that, the programming is a part of that. The programming will take place at different areas. Let's say it was in Ottawa at a community center run by the Y. Right? So Variety Ontario programming will be in Ottawa at the Y. In Toronto, it can be Variety programming. In Toronto at MLC, the Launchpad at Variety Village. So our naming convention is basically just Variety Ontario, or Variety the Children's Charity of Ontario, is operating in different areas, whether that's Toronto or London or Durham or Ottawa or Barrie or wherever it is. And then the locations will be listed there. Other than Variety Village, none of the locations are going to be operated by us, so they'll just be listed. That's essentially how we're looking to do the naming convention. So Variety, the Children's Charity of Ontario, is the main organization. It's really important that we communicate as such because people get confused very, very, very easily. And we know from the research, we know from the past work we've done that Variety Village does confuse some people. It just naturally does. And so there's nothing wrong with calling this facility Variety Village. But we just need to shift our thinking a little bit because the program we're doing is not Variety Village programming. It's Variety Ontario, Variety the Children's Charity of Ontario's programming that takes place here. It takes place at the Y. It takes place wherever it takes place. So it's just a small shift, but it's important that we speak that way because being able to communicate the same way to everyone will help just smooth out any wrinkles or confusions that might exist.